Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the DC Collectibles, Batman Arkham Origins, Batman, the Joker, Black Mask, and Deathstroke 4-pack of figures. Now I have gotten quite a few requests for this review, and so I went ahead and purchased this set. Got a really good deal on it through Amazon. I believe it was around $44, which if you break it down means you're paying about $11 a figure, which is a really good deal. The look of the packaging is quite nice. It's a pretty neat looking box, and it has the overall Batman Arkham Origins theme with the snow falling and such. And there on the back of the packaging we get a look at all of the characters that DC Collectibles has released thus far from the Arkham Origins series. So let me go ahead and get these figures out of the packaging and play around with them a little bit, and we'll see just how well they stack up. Alright you guys, and here we have our figures out of the packaging. We're going to go ahead and take a look at each figure one by one, starting with Black Mask. Alright you guys, so this figure all in all looks to be a pretty decent sculpt. From what I can see here, the face looks to be pretty nicely done. The suit, however, it looks a little bit strange. It just looks like there's possibly a little bit too much going on. The proportions of the figure look quite good, and they seem to be fairly lifelike. Though again, it just seems like there's a little bit too much going on. Looking at his head, it looks to be a very nicely done sculpt. It has a very charcoal kind of look to it. And if you look at it, there's a lot of little detail going on there. Very nice pattern. And it's clearly a mask since you can see his eyes there. The eyes look a little bit off-center. The mask also looks like it's two separate pieces, as it looks to have kind of like a latex backing or something. Now the suit, it looks like they sculpted all the ridging, all the pinstriping there on his suit, on the pants as well. Which might be okay, except for the fact that they gave it this, kind of wash to kind of highlight those details, and I think it just looks a little bit too much. It even looks kind of dirty on the back. For a character that's supposed to be, kind of more wealthy and sophisticated, it just looks overdone. On the other hand, the vest under there looks pretty good. It has a satin look to it. In the way of articulation, Black Mask has a hinge here at the head. He has swivels at his shoulders. He has bends at the elbows. He has what kind of seem to be sort of like hinges, but I don't think they're proper hinges. They just kind of move around in all directions. He has bends here at the thighs, and then he has rotations there at the ankles. So not a whole lot of articulation. Black Mask also comes with two pistols, which look pretty good. They used different colors of paint to kind of, decorate them, and I think they look, pretty good for it. So overall, he's an okay figure. I do find him to be a little bit lackluster and probably the weakest one in the set. I think the highlight for me for this guy is the face, which looks very nicely done. I like the detail and the coloring of the mask. On the other hand, the outfit is just too unrealistic and overdone. There's just too much going on in the way of sculpt work combined with paint. I would have liked a more simplistic look. He's also lacking quite a bit in the articulation department. He does have some pretty nice accessories, but all in all, a pretty bland figure, but he does have a very nice head. Alright you guys, now on to Batman. Batman is sculpted very nicely. As you can see here, he looks very bulky and very armored up, a lot like how he looked in the Arkham Origins video game. In addition to the very nice sculpt work, the coloring on him is also very good. I really like the way that he's painted. His cape is very much like the ones that we have seen on the previous Batman Arkham figures. It's a soft, kind of a rubbery plastic, and it looks like it's sculpted very nicely. Close up here of the head, it looks to be pretty good. I think the sculpt work is there, but the eyes and the chin are painted a little bit strangely. I guess the right eye looks okay. The left looks a little bit cloudy. For the chin, it looks like maybe they tried to do a little bit too much. It looks like maybe a 5 o'clock shadow was the goal, along with an oily, sweaty kind of look. And it just looks like a bit much. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but I think it's a little bit too busy. The ears aren't perfectly straight either, especially the one here on this side. But all in all, pretty good. Nice neck detail there. The rest of the armor is really good looking. I really like this coloring of this nice deep gray here. Contrasts very well with this matte black color of the other elements of his costume. Now, of course, in Origins, Batman didn't have the typical shorts, but the way they painted it kind of gives him that illusion, which is pretty cool. And, from the gauntlets, the spikes look a little bit skinny from what I think they look like in the game. And the shin guards here, look pretty good. You can see where they connect there, just as you can with the gauntlets there. So all in all, that looks quite good. In the way of articulation, Batman has a ball joint here at the head. He has ball hinges here at the shoulders, and they're concealed quite well with the armor. He has a hinge at both of the elbows, which is pretty unique for these figures. And then he has a hinge there at the wrist. He's got an ab crunch at the abdomen. You can swivel him at the waist. He has hinging at the hips, which don't go out a whole lot, nor do they go out forward that much because they're restricted right there. He has double bends at the knees, which is also pretty unique for these guys. And then he has rocker hinges here at both of the ankles. Now, unfortunately, the left one is a little bit loose, so when I try and stand him up, he kind of tends to want to fall over because of how loose it is, which kind of sucks. But, you can kind of work around it if you're careful. In the way of accessories, Batman has this weapon here that he did have in the game. I can't quite remember what it was called because it's been a while since I played it, but it looks pretty good. It looks like they painted it and gave it a nice metallic kind of look. All in all, Batman is a very nicely done figure. I think the sculpt is very nice. The paintwork is really good on him, except for the, mishaps there in the eyes and chin area. All in all, it looks pretty good. Nicely articulated for sure, and a pretty nice accessory that works okay with him. Certainly one of the better figures in the set. All right, you guys, moving right along to Deathstroke. Visually speaking, this guy looks very impressive. The sculpt work on him is phenomenally done, as is the paintwork and the decal. I really like the metallic look that they gave him for the armor, the orange and the blue. Just very nice color scheme. And then, of course, it's very scuffed up, which, makes him look like he's been through quite a bit. The proportions on him look very nice and pretty realistic, at least for what we saw in the video game. And he has a couple of nice stowaway features, since you can sheath his sword and his pistol, which is always fun. The head looks to be quite nicely done. It does look like it did in the video game. You can see his eye there, which is just kind of giving you like a death stare kind of thing. Again, I really like the look of the metal here. They did a really nice job with that armor. Very, very nicely done. I used to have the Mattel figure, which I don't have anymore to compare him for you, but if you want to compare him with that figure, you can look at my video in which I did that. But from what I can tell here, from what I recall, this one looks a lot better. Just very, very nicely done. This is a separate piece here that they did for the bandolier, and then, the belt, which also holds the sheath in place, which is quite cool. The holster is also a separate piece that looks to be attached there into his leg. But all in all, very nicely done armor. It just looks really, really good. Very realistic and lifelike. In the way of articulation, Deathstroke has a hinge here at the head, which is, pretty nice. I like when you can tilt the heads. He has hinging here at the shoulders, though it is a little bit restricted because of the armor. He has a cut at the bicep, which is pretty rare for these figures. He's got a bend there at the elbow. He has something like a hinge here at the wrist since it moves all the way around, but I don't think it's a proper hinge. He has an ab crunch, which is pretty stiff there at the abdomen. You can swivel him at the waist. He has hinges here at both of his hips. He's got double bends at the knees. And then he has forward and backward movement there at the ankles. It doesn't quite hinge despite what it looks like there because you can't move them back and forth, which is a bit of a bummer because this foot kind of sticks out at an angle, which makes it a little bit hard to stand. Deathstroke has 3 accessories. First of all, he has this sword, which is pretty nice looking and can be sheathed there into his sheath. He has a pistol, which fits pretty good into his holster there on his hip. And then he has a bow staff, which is also pretty decent looking. So all in all, I think Deathstroke is probably the most visually interesting figure in this set. He is very nicely sculpted and nicely painted. Lots of nice articulation in him, and with 3 accessories, he has the most out of any figure in this set. So all in all, very well done figure. Last but not least, we have the Joker. which looks to be quite good as well. The face is very messy in terms of paint, which kind of deviates from his look in the video game, but the costume is very nicely done. They gave his outfit like a very deep kind of purple. It almost looks like grayish black. I really like when they don't give him that really vibrant purple. I mean, this looks very nice and very realistic. And again, the outfit is just sculpted very nicely. I really like the way that his coattails look. Again, the head's a little bit overdone in terms of the paint. In the game, it did look a lot more clean. It looks like they may have tried to do a little bit too much here. It just looks very smeared. It almost looks kind of like cream cheese or something. I mean, not terrible, just a little bit overdone. The eyebrows are painted green. The hair is a nice green color with a black wash to it. The lips are nice deep red, so it looks quite good. His undershirt's pretty dirty looking, kind of yellow. But again, the outfit's quite nicely done. It looks pretty textured. It looks like they even gave it a wash too to kind of bring out, a little bit more detail in it. So, I mean, it looks pretty good, if not a little bit excessive. But, all in all, quite good. The boots there, he's got his loafers, which are quite pointy looking. In the way of articulation, Joker has a ball hinge here at the head, and he actually gets a really nice range of movement. He has swivels at the shoulders, so no ball hinges, unfortunately. He has hinges here at his elbows, which you can bend and swivel. Then he has what kind of seem like hinges there at the wrists, but it's kind of a different kind of joint. He has bends at the hips, bends at the knees, and then rotations here at his shoes. So all in all, Joker's a very nice looking figure. I really do like the aesthetic of him, though I do think the makeup is a little bit overdone. But he's pretty lacking in the articulation department, and he doesn't have any accessories, which is a little bit unusual considering that all the other figures have at least one accessory. But overall, the costume is quite nicely done, and he's a pretty good addition to this set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Origins 4-pack featuring Black Mask, Batman, Deathstroke, and the Joker. All in all, it's a good set for the price that I paid, $44, considering that each of these figures individually is MSRPing at $25. So when you consider that, it's a really good deal. For that price, I do think that this set is certainly worth it. Not all of the figures are mind-blowing or anything. I think the strongest ones in the set are Batman and Deathstroke. Both of those figures do feature the most articulation, though I think DC Collectibles does need to work on their engineering for the ankle articulation because they are a little bit hard to stand because of the way that these two figures are. Black Mask is certainly the weakest in the set. He looks okay. I just think that the suit is a little bit overdone and he's lacking in the articulation department. Joker actually looks really nice. I really like his outfit and the sculpt of his face. The paint is, pretty good. It's a little bit messy, a little bit more messy than I would have liked to have seen. But he's not articulated all that much, and he doesn't have any accessories. The absolute highlight of the set for me is Deathstroke. I think he is very nicely done. I really like the look of the armor, how it's all grittied up and stuff, and he has 3 accessories all to himself, so that's really cool. If you are collecting the Arkham figures, this is a very nice set to get. It's a really good value. And I am quite pleased with it, even though I am a little bit disappointed in some aspects of this set. All in all, it is a good value, and I do recommend it. Stay tuned, because we will be looking at the Arkham Origins Killer Croc in our next review. Thanks for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.